Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're going to have another look at Medieval Engineers with a new update. So let's go ahead and see what the update is all about. Now this update is predominantly going to be new blocks. So we have a number of these blocks, and most of them are going to be along the theme of these rounded blocks. So we have this large round stone block, round large as it's called. We also have a number of rounded walls that are new. We're going to go ahead and grab. And we also have a couple other blocks as well as battlements to talk about. And we'll go ahead and grab one of these just because. Alright, so first thing we want to look at is our new large round stone block. Now, this kind of has a funky shape to it, and it does take a little bit of figuring out to understand exactly how you're supposed to utilize it. But what you're supposed to do is there is a way to mouse wheel with it, and that essentially flips it around. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to flip it, and then let's see if I can get the correct orientation. To get a rounded edge, sometimes it's a little hard to figure out exactly. Oh, there you go. That's how you're supposed to do it. So there we're getting a rounded edge. And that's what you kind of have to do, is you have to flip the thing around and kind of mess with it to get the rounded shape that you are looking for. Ooh, and then you're going to have to mouse wheel over. There you go. It takes a little bit of getting used to. For me, it seems a little bit complex to build things this way. I mean, it's not as intuitive as you would think. But once you get the hang of it, there you go. So we have our nice rounded structure. We can just fill that out with normal square blocks. And there you have it. Now looking at some of our round walls, we have this one here that's essentially a 2x2, and let's see if we can get it actually up on top where we want it. There we go. And that is meant to fit in with these walls well. And we have a way of mouse wheeling with that as well to give us an alternate angle with it so that we can get it to fit, because sometimes it just doesn't want to work the way it is, so you have to use your mouse wheel. And mouse wheel again, mouse wheel and flip. There we go, and mouse wheel. So, we could do a wall like that. We also have a couple other walls. This is for a door, so we can delete one of these out. And now this is just a one space block essentially, and that's not going to fit our curve correctly. But another alternative you have here is this two space block. Now we did kind of mess up our wall here. Let's see if we can fix that. And that was one thing, when you delete these blocks, they don't tend to behave on you as well. But we can do a door like that, which was this block here, and we could also do one over here just by flipping it, and you see how it kind of left a weird, didn't really delete that properly, so we gotta get our wall back and flip it around the right way, and there you go. Alright, so we have doors. We have windows, again a one spacer and a two spacer. So let's go ahead and delete out our block. I'm probably messing that up again because I'm probably going to have to replace this. That was a 5, there we go. So it's kind of weird, you have to delete blocks, and because it's essentially these blocks are almost like 1.5 spaces, or at least as far as the game's concerned. And then we need our 2-space window. We need to flip it around, and then there we go. So it's a little bit, as I said, you have to get kind of used to using the mouse wheel to give you the different angles, as well as flipping them around with your Q and E keys to get your proper orientation. So that does take a little bit of getting used to, but as you can see, it makes it much easier to make these rounded style buildings. And I think I went through all of the blocks that we have available to us. And as I said, you have, a two space block that will fit more of these larger slopes, or you have the one space blocks that will fit more of the slope like this. So you have a different options for a rounded building. And obviously, this block here allows for much more larger diameter round structures like towers and what have you than, for instance, this block would, because all we get out of this block is, something like that, and that's about it, unless you use flat edges. So if you want a completely round structure, that's all you're going to get out of that. So that's pretty much a lot of the new rounded blocks. Now let's talk about the one of the other new features to the game, and that is these roof tiles. But before we do that, I'd like to go ahead and just show the battlements. So got a few battlement choices here. Okay, and so starting with, we have this one here, which, as we can see, meshes with this style wall well, if you can get it to cooperate. Probably what I need to do is, at least I thought it was meant to fit that wall. Maybe, which one do I have selected? Oh, okay. What I think here, I'm not exactly sure what this wall is supposed to be for. That was actually one of the walls I couldn't quite figure out. Maybe this is one of your, what is the description? Stone battlement round. Yeah, I wasn't able to figure out exactly what this was supposed to fit, because it doesn't fit a 1x1. Or does it? It doesn't really fit the shape that we have going here. This is the one rounded battlement that I couldn't quite figure out exactly what it was for. It's not a one-space block, it's a two-space block, but it doesn't fit this arch. So that one I haven't been able to figure out. But this one is a one block, and then this one fits in with our wall. So you have your way to flip it. It was just that one I wasn't able to figure out exactly what it was supposed to be for. Maybe it's like one of those in the middle kind of blocks. Oop, I need to just, there we go. So as you can see, these battlements, they fit here. And then it's the same way that you constructed the wall. You kind of just use your mouse wheel to flip things around the way you need to have them. And there you go. So those are the battlements. Again, I don't know what this one's for, because it doesn't really match the arc of anything in particular. But it is kind of centrally located. See here? It doesn't really meet that edge. So maybe that's what it's supposed to be for, if you have the slope. Rather than it being on the side, you're supposed to be in the middle, which that really honestly does look like what it's supposed to do. Yeah, from what I can tell, that's what it looks like. Okay, anyway, getting back onto my original topic, which was the newer blocks with, and let's go ahead and grab some normal stone walls, and these new two blocks here, this one and this one. Essentially, all these do is we grab our wall. Oop, there we go. And we build a kind of really basic structure. No doors or anything, just to get it. We have these new blocks that allow us to do some things with roofs. So, and we can mouse wheel to flip its orientation, as we see here. And then we can use a roof. So this is essentially the same thing that we already had with the wooden blocks here, wooden wall top and wooden wall slope. It's the same thing, just stone. As we can see, the same description even. But what this allows us to do is, if we grab a tile section, slap that in there, we can build across. If I can get the roof to go where I want it to, which is there. We can build this across, and now it doesn't leave us a gap. And that's pretty much all it's for. And now you can do that with stone structures. This is something, honestly, the game needed. And honestly, it was just a matter of time before they implemented it. So it just allows us a little bit more flexibility with stone structures to give them, roofs, just like we could do with the wooden structures before. And that's pretty much all of the additions to the game at the moment. I believe there was also a slight addition with the wooden floor, the round wooden floors. We have a large one and a single tile one, so this will match your rounded structures as well. You're just going to have to make sure that you do your orientation correctly. And sometimes that's a little hard to figure out. There we go. That's what I want. There we go. And this goes there. So as I said, it takes a little doing to kind of figure out what it is that you need as far as the correct orientation sometimes. There we go. And you just kind of repeat that as you go. There we go. Right there is what I want. And there we go. And one more set, and we should be good. There we go. One more. The thing that's kind of not intuitive about this is that the floors work very differently than the way the walls work. And then we would just finish this off with, if we grab our normal square wooden floors, we can then finish that off. And there you have it. So now you can do, as I said, you can do things with the round structures. We have our doors as a way of getting in there. The only thing is, as far as I know, I don't know if the stairs really mesh well with this yet. We could try that out. Let's see. Probably maybe these would be what we would want. And maybe a combination. The thing that I'm just not certain of, and I forgot what, okay, is whether or not these will really work with our structure. And I don't think that they really do. There's not really a way to get stairs up to this that look alright. I mean, technically you can get stairs up to it, but there's a gap, as you can see. Maybe we would just do something like, it doesn't let me put a square block in here to fill in that gap. Yeah, so there's not really a way to get stairs up to this at the moment. So that is kind of a problem. But as it is, we now have rounded structures, larger rounded structures. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.